Finally, we got the news that we've all been waiting to hear. The PPP for my sole proprietors, my independent contractors, my freelancers, my gig economy workers out there, my Uber, Lyft drivers, all you guys. For us, we finally got the bailout that we've been looking for. The PPP will be 100% forgivable. Let's jump into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Moore. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, and a creative entrepreneur, and I like to make videos like these for other photographers, filmmakers, and creative entrepreneurs who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live. So if that sounds like something that you're into, feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel where I talk about photography, filmmaking, and what it's like to build a business on your terms. So this just in, a couple of days ago, the SBA and the Treasury finally came out with an update for the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program for the sole proprietors, the independent contractors, and that is good news because what recently just happened was they passed the PPP Flexibility Act, which allowed you to extend the pay week or the pay period from 8 weeks to 24 weeks. And then they changed up the ratios from 75-25, 75 payroll, 25 qualified expenses, to 60-40, which was 60% payroll, 40% qualified expenses. And this left a lot of us confused and wondering, where does this leave us? So initially when this update came out, they really didn't have anything for the sole proprietors or the independent contractors. But just the other day, they came out with a brand new formula, a brand new forgiveness application. And on this application and this formula, we will be able to achieve 100% forgiveness. So this is great news for all of us, the sole proprietors and the independent contractors, when it comes to the PPP, because the formula that they had gave us initially is you had to take your line 31, your net profits, you had to divide that by 12, and then you had to multiply that by 2.5. And what that did was it determined your total loan amount that you were eligible for. But now with the PPP Flexibility Act, they have changed the formula, and the formula is you take your line 31, divide that by 12, multiply it by 2.5, boom, that's 100% forgiveness. It's the same exact formula that we use to determine our max loan amount. So as long as your line 31, your net profits on your 2019 Schedule C, which you're going to file, matches up with the formula that you're going to use for your forgiveness, you're going to achieve 100% forgiveness. Now, if these lines don't completely match up, maybe, you got a little bit more than you were supposed to, or whatever the case may be, that's okay. You'll still have the same formula. It's just that extra won't be forgiven and you'll have to pay that back. But you still can't beat it because it's at a 1% interest rate, and instead of paying it back over 2 years, they extended the pay period or the repayment period until 5 years. Also, initially you had a 6-month deferment period, but with the PPP Flexibility Act, they changed that from 6 months to 10 months. And they also made it that you weren't required to pay back any money until you got your forgiveness determination back from your lender or the SBA. Now, what also makes this new update great is that you are allowed to apply for forgiveness at any time. You don't have to wait the 8 weeks. You don't have to wait the 24 weeks. You can still select the 8-week option if you want to, but I mean, there's no point, right? Because if you could select the 24-week, you can get 100% forgiveness. And you can do it at any time. You don't have to wait till 24 months. You don't have to wait until it's time to pay the loan back. You can just submit that paperwork now. The SBA and the Treasury came out with an updated version. It's like the EZ form or something like that. Whereas the initial version of the forgiveness loan application was about 11 pages. Now, for the sole proprietors, the independent contractors, we really didn't need all of those 11 pages. But instead of being 11 pages, now it's only down to 3. So congratulations to all my people who did get the PPP funding, who went for it. Maybe you weren't sure, you were a little uncertain. There was a lot of gray area going on. Well, if you made that move, you made the right move, all right? Because now you can get that 100% forgiveness. So essentially, you just got a nice big fat grant. Keep in mind, as long as your line 31 net profits match up with your forgiveness amount, which is your line 31, you know, as long as you use that formula on your line 31, your net, to determine your loan amount, when you go to apply for forgiveness, you're going to get the whole thing completely forgiven. Now, if you're watching this video and you haven't applied for the PPP program, but you are eligible to do so, I would encourage you to do so. Reason being is because there's only so much time left. It extends, or it goes till June 30th, where you can apply and get approved for the funds. So if you haven't done it, but you are eligible, maybe you're on the fence, maybe you're a little bit nervous, I would say go ahead and do it. Make sure that, you know, you use the correct numbers and the correct formulas, because it is self-certifying. So, I mean, essentially you could just tell them whatever and they're just going to give it to you. But make sure that if you got your numbers correct, you're going to get you a nice little grant into your business. Now, on a quick side note, I had made a video prior about PPP and the PUA, right? Can you collect PPP and the PUA at the same time? I've been doing some research, and, you know, it's just an opinion, and I've seen some of these out here, but I do not know. It's, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a tax strategist, you know, I'm not a lawyer. But what I'm saying is this, that the PPP is, you know, it's essentially, it's a loan, right? But now with this new formula, it's going to be a grant. And keep in mind that the PPP is not taxable income. So if it's not taxable income, it's just free money, right? And so will it, you know, interfere with your PUA, your unemployment insurance? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. That's all going to depend on your state. Now, some states are asking about it. Some states aren't asking about it. Some states are asking that you disclose it. Some are maybe asking that you divide it up over the weeks. But, you know, hey, who knows? So, you know, it's just a little food for thought. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just, you know, putting it out there. So it's something to think about. Also, too, before I end this video, I just want to remind you guys that the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan portal, is back open to all businesses. And that $1,000 up to $10,000 grant is back, and it is in full effect. So if you feel like you could benefit from that as well, I would suggest that you go apply. Head over to the SBA.gov. That's where you will apply for the EIDL loan. And remember, if you're going to apply for the PPP loan, you want to go through a lender. So you want to go through a bank. Try a small community bank, maybe something like PayPal, Cabbage, Square, because this way you can get your loan process faster, because at the time of this recording, there's only going to be a few days left. And if you missed the window, you missed it. The boat has sailed. You missed out. If you gave the money back because you were nervous, I'm sorry to hear that, but you just missed out on a big old fat grant. And hopefully, you know, you guys get the money. If you have applied, if you're still waiting in the queue, you know, hopefully you get that money. Hopefully you put your numbers down right, because if so, you will achieve 100% forgiveness. So that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful and helpful and exciting, because this is great news for the sole proprietors, the independent contractors, the gig economy workers. We actually got a real life bailout, and we got a big old fat grant into our businesses. So that's it for me today, guys. And for all my people out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live, this is your man, Jonathan Moore, and I'm signing out. Peace.